heard a lot about this game as sort of a minimalist horror game, and it seems to be really popular with the kids, especially on YouTube. Personally, never played it. I don't know what the gameplay is like, but this is a series they put out like a ton of sequels for it in a really short space of time, right? I don't know how many iterations exist for this game, but I think there's quite a few. Okay. 5 nights. Closes instantly. The Saw of horror games. That's a good way to think about it, maybe. What else did they do? Weren't they like making like a MMO or something crazy? Some weird like off-genre version of it? The way we talk about genres frustrates you. Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. Okay, so it's like Chuck E. Cheese. Family pizzeria looking for security guard to work the night shift, 12 a.m. to 6 a.m. Monitor cameras. Okay. Yeah, I kind of have an association with like the people who troll Undertale videos and the people who are like hunting for streamers playing Five Nights at Freddy's. Where's my phone? Can I move? Just click on things.
Hello? Hello?
I don't think I can actually answer the phone there.
I want to record a message for you to help you get settled in on your first night.
Okay.
I actually worked in that office before you.
There's a lot of lore. Interesting.
My last week now, as a matter of fact. So I know it can
See
be
a source.
overwhelming, but I'm here to tell you there's nothing to worry about. You'll be fine. So let's just focus on getting you through your first week, okay? Let's see. First, there's an introductory greeting from the company that I'm supposed to read. It's kind of a legal thing, you know. Welcome to Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, a magical place for kids and grown-ups alike, where fantasy and fun come to life. Fazbear Entertainment is not responsible for damage to property or person. Upon discovering that damage or death has occurred, a missing person report will be filed within 90 days or as soon as property and premises have been thoroughly cleaned and bleached and the carpets have been replaced. Blah, blah, blah. Now, that might sound bad, I know, but there's really nothing to worry about. The animatronic characters here do get a bit quirky at night, but do I blame them? No. If I were forced to sing those same stupid songs for 20 years and I never got a bath, I'd probably be a bit irritable at night too.
That's interesting, Propagable. So they didn't just turn it around really fast.
Place in the hearts of children, and we need to show them a little respect.
My power is really draining quickly during this.
So just be aware, the characters do tend to wander a bit. They're left in some kind of free roaming mode at night. Something about their servos locking up if they get turned off for too long. They used to be allowed to walk around during the day too, but then there was the
closing the door uses power?
Yeah. It's amazing that the human body can live without the frontal lobe, you know? Now, concerning your safety...
They're very good despite coming out quickly, Propagable.
The night watchman here, if any, is the fact that these characters, if they happen to see you after hours, probably won't recognize you as a person. They'll most likely see you as a metal endoskeleton without its costume on. Now, since that's against the rules here at Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, they'll probably try to forcefully stuff you inside a Freddy Fazbear suit. Now, that wouldn't be so bad if the suits themselves weren't filled with cross beams, wires, and animatronic devices, especially around the facial area. So you can imagine how having your head forcefully pressed inside one of those could cause a bit of discomfort and death.
Discomfort and death.
Would likely see the light of day again would be your eyeballs and teeth that pop out the front of the mask. Yeah, they don't tell you these things when you sign up. But hey, first station of the breeze. I'll chat with you tomorrow. Check those cameras and remember to close the doors only if absolutely necessary. Gotta conserve power. Alright, good night.
Okay, so that's the gimmick, is the longer the doors are closed. I see. So I can see where I am. Let's party. The whole camera system kind of reminds me of, don't run, don't yell, don't scream, don't poop on the floor, stay close to mom, don't touch Freddy, don't hit, don't leave before dark. Thank you, management. This is kind of like Republique, but not a stealth game, right? Pirate Cove, out of order. It's fantastic, all the little masks everywhere. Decent if you're into the genre rather than good. Okay, very good. It's pretty spooky. I'm curious what happens when I run out of power, right? That just leaves the doors open or something. I also assume that I'm not allowed to move at all, ever. Yeah, I haven't played the game before, so I figured I'd figure out what happens, but... Reading things in the rooms. Do you have much control to do that? Camera disabled, audio only. Cam 6. Oh no, one of them's missing now. Fantastic. This one seems to be breathing. Oh, it's just the way that the camera moves, okay. Hi. What's up, buddy? Oh, okay. If you're out of battery, the doors are just open. Hey, what's up, buddy? That was loud. Alright, so it's a jump scare. That's kind of cool, though. Like, I mean, they made a little line about them trying to stuff you and it would lead to death, but I guess you could just assume that losing the game is getting jump scared, right? Not necessarily actually losing. Alright, let's try it again. So I have to survive the night without having the doors closed. And I have to use the cameras to see how close they are to me, I guess? So I can probably mute this call this time, right? Oh, that's neat. It's different the second time. Alright, do I know how many there are total that I have to be worried about? Is it just these three? The bear, the bird, and this bear? So I can probably check this every so often until I see one of them missing. I'm hesitant to call it horror. Okay. Yeah, I can see that. Starts with those three. Okay, that's cool. Bear, bird, and bunny. Gotcha. That's a cool way to increase the difficulty. Right on. They're all still in there. I feel like this game, was this originally designed as a mobile game for like iOS or something? It feels like it would work really well with a mobile control scheme, right? I'm also guessing they won't move while I'm watching them. Spooky cast members who want to spook you. I see. Made it to 1 a.m. That It's really surprising if it wasn't mobile, because it would be like, you know, you can swipe to look either side and then you can just tap this thing to move. I'm not allowed to leave my room, right? That was delightful. I'm still in there. Yeah, I think it's like psychological horror. It's what, Silent Hill horror versus Resident Evil horror. I think that they're part of the same umbrella. I definitely prefer the Silent Hill approach to the jump scare approach, but I don't think that's something we can really gatekeep, right? Wrote in an engine that doesn't export easily to mobile. I see. Interesting. I'm still in the room. We're fine. I think jump scares still have their place, especially when they're used very sparingly. If you're on edge expecting one constantly, like I'll watch movies with Andrew and I'll be like, hey, you know, brace yourself. And she's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, well, the way this scene is shot, the way the music cut out 30 seconds ago, like there's a bunch of stuff pointing to the fact that there's going to be a jump scare. And I really like horror products that will do that and then not actually do the jump scare. Just keep you in that state of tension constantly. Raker added it, Leon. They're still out there. Not coming just yet. Just to confirm, I can't leave this room, right? I can only close either of the doors left or right of me. And I can try to use the other cameras to see where they're patrolling to when they're moving around. Yeah. Yeah, atmosphere's cool, music, the sound of the fan, the low rumbling sound. Gotcha. Super deep gameplay. Right. No, it's kind of cool to do like a deconstruction of what a game like this should be. Has this game always been about $5, or did it used to go for more? Yeah. Leave the fan on, it's apparently super hot in here. No, I totally agree. I like games that try to do deconstruction. Hey, one of them left. Okay, so he's in the party room now. Now he's not. Now he's over there. Now he's not. Pretty spoopy. Okay, now he's in cam 2. Still is. Still is. Still is. Still is. We're still fine. Still fine. It's a really interesting premise. I wonder if the creator was just kind of spooked out by these things, right? I don't think he's in that hall anymore. I don't know where he went now. He's back in that hallway. Okay. Open the door again then. Yeah. Just doesn't like animatronics, right? Disney World, Hall of Presidents. What did he say? Welcome to the Hall of Presidents. Hey, he's at 3. Which means I'm probably fine to chill here, because that's pretty far away from my room. Are A and B both next to my room? Like 2A and 2B? I can't really tell. Back in 3. These are the ones next to me. Okay. He's still in 3, which is fine. They haven't moved yet. Oh geez, that scared the shit out of me. So that means that I was like in the camera when I was when he was sneaking up on me. Huh. So what's the strategy with this game? Like, it seems kind of random. Like, obviously I want to close the door if they're near to being adjacent to me, right? But I want to leave the door closed all the time. So I don't fully comprehend like when is the correct time to close the door. I also don't know if checking the camera makes them move, since we don't actually see them physically moving when they're looking at a specific camera. Gee willikers, Jiminy Christmas. Looks like it takes them a really long time to start patrolling, so I could try just waiting till 1 AM before I look at that again. Oh, really? So he made a game having to do with animatronic characters that people didn't like? I guess they just said it was creepy or something? Huh. Did they follow preset patterns? Oh, okay. Hey, Game Right. Yep, never played it before. It's interesting so far. I'm trying to understand, like, the correct way to play it. I died once to seeing what happens when I run out of power, and died a second time to not closing the door when I should have. But I still wasn't entirely sure how I should have known to close the door at that point. So it sounds like part of the goal of the game is trying to see the matrix, so to speak, and try to understand how the game's working behind the scenes and work around it. Yeah, I game overed. I had a spooky, scary, too spoopy mascot show up. Yeah, the person talking at the beginning said that you die when that happens, so... I was looking at the wrong room, Matt? Okay. Yeah, if you type something in exclamation point hide before your message, I won't be able to see it, but you can discuss it with everybody else in chat. If there's anything spoilery you'd like to talk about. Is there any purpose to having the light turned on? Does that give you an opportunity to respond in time to close the door? I do really like the principle that, like, you can't run, there's only one way to avoid them, and it's to close the door when they're next to you. I wonder if you can, like... Because last time I had a shit ton of battery left, and I think the night was almost over. I think we only have to make it to, like, 6 a.m. I probably could have just shut the door and waited out the rest of the evening. How much time... I assume that once you can see them through the doorway, it's already GG. Is that not the case? Never played Layers of Fear, no. Played remarkably few horror games. I'm pretty bad at them. On stream, I think the only one I've really played is Silent Hill 2, which messed with me pretty bad. Sailor Dan is a huge jerk and put Alien Isolation on the voting spreadsheet, which I hear is particularly rough. Oh, they don't show right outside the door. Okay. That bastard. I hear that game is really scary. Like, Amnesia was pretty spooky. We did that for Halloween. But once you kind of get a sense of the rules with the monster and the fact that it's not constantly patrolling... Hey, there goes the bunny. It's in the party room. I'm curious if they follow the same script. Oh yeah, Outlast. I forgot about that. I did do that one. That was the same thing. Like, eventually I was able to see the Matrix, right? I kind of understood how it worked. Once you kind of figure out how you can run away from things, it's not too bad, I felt like. It was a pretty spooky game, but... So camera 2B doesn't really do me any good, it sounds like. Outcast is pretty spooky too, right? Exactly, paranormal. Spend all this time checking the light. Then have him come in on the right side, right? Curious to know if multiples of them patrol at once. I guess I could close both doors so that I can check those things in relative safety. Oh, now there's another one patrolling. That's exciting. Great. Still in there. She's at 7. A third one's the easiest. Interesting. Doing alright, how are you? This is around when I got caught last time. Two B and 4B are different places from outside your station. I see. My heart rate's gotten the craziest, so I don't think it spiked too much during Outlast. The craziest is definitely during Dark Souls boss fights so far. But it's definitely a thing that can happen. You can't get spooked on a camera, right? Like, looking at one of them on a camera is never going to end the game, presumably. It's only if you're looking in the camera and they're secretly in the room and you back out. Oh, that's great. So I'm losing battery, presumably? So I want to leave that door closed. I might open this one, but I don't know if I can do that safely. Yeah, no, I definitely don't want to do that at all. He's right next to me. They have to give you a hug. I think my BPM peak when playing a Souls game was 210. during, I want to say, Lawrence, the next day after we did that. Oh, that's creepy. Just the bird, presumably. See if I can just wait it out here. It's not waited out. Well, I'm gonna let my power run out and see if I make it. I may have closed both of the doors late enough that that'll be okay. Oh god, oh man, oh god, oh man. 2%, I gotta open it. If I die, I die, right? Yay, we made it! Hooray! First try. Kids are so happy. It just goes right into the second night. Fantastic.
We've got this, Marstead. Where? Ow. Where? First try.
Has it ever not been for 6-year-olds? I've kind of gotten the impression that this was a game to, like, go to school and say, hey, did you play Five Nights at Freddy's? It's so spooky. And, like, the other kids are like, oh my gosh, that's so scary. I think there's merit in it being a deconstruction of the genre, too. But I don't know if that's something that's changed about the series.
Interestingly enough, Freddy himself doesn't come off stage very often.
Okay.
Comes on more active in the
One's already missing.
So, hey, I guess that's one more reason not to run out of power, right? I also want to emphasize the importance of using your door lights. There are blind spots in your camera view, and those blind spots
thanks for the follow. Welcome.
right outside your doors. So if you can't find something or someone on your cameras, be sure to check the door light.
So this is where you're going to teach us formally about that mechanic, right?
Not that you would be in any danger, of course. I'm not implying that. Also, check on the curtain in Pirate Code.
Oh no, I'm not making the argument of like so I've always hated that argument that, oh, Nintendo games are cartoony, so they're for kids. It's definitely not the case, but if the argument is that the series has changed to be especially appealing to young kids, I think that's probably always been the case, right? This is one of the earliest games to be popular with YouTubers, I think. I'm surprised it wasn't included in the YouTuber episode of South Park, actually. Alright, let me shut both really quick just so I can do a quick search. He's right next to me. They're all still in their room, which is fine. But he came out and started patrolling much sooner this time. I think that it's developed an audience since the release of the original game. I don't know if that was the developer's original intention, and maybe the series has like embraced that. But as someone who's never played the game before, that's how I know of the game. You know, I've had like my little nephew get all excited. You heard of Five Nights at Freddy's? Like, okay. Always listen to the phone call. He gives you tips about what the night has to offer. Okay, gotcha, Kevin. Does he repeat it? Because I missed part of it while I was talking there. That's pretty spooky. Glad we had the light up. Oh, and he's in the blind spot, so if it's in B, I'm basically already hosed, right? It's game theory stuff in this. I don't know where number 2 is right now. We managed to wait for a really long time before they started patrolling in the first stage. Pretty sure he's still at the door there, right? Oh, now the second one's patrolling. Fantastic. The bird. I wish I knew where the bunny was right now. In Game Theory, the one that does like really, really long videos on super minimal evidence. Like, Ness is actually Sans. Like, really? I mean, definitely inspired by Earthbound and most Super Nintendo RPGs from that era, but I really like all the ambient sound effects. That's pretty cool. We're definitely going to die to power loss tonight. I got to get a better sense of how they're actually going about patrolling in this one. So is it a legit strat to just like constantly flip back and forth and hit both of the lights like that? It's pretty spooky. Too spooky. Claim to have solved Dark Souls? Huh. I mean, Dark Souls is a cool game to theorycraft about, right? There's a lot of stuff in there to talk about and think about, but like, I think that's part of the fun, is that it is vague and there isn't actually an answer every time. That's pretty spoopy. A little worried because I haven't seen the bird in a while. Let me close this door so I can look a little bit more closely here. Alright. Bunny, I think that might be. Kind of want to know where the bird is, though. Wait, there's the bird. Yeah, keeping the door closed requires power because video game mechanic, right? Bonnie's her name. But I can leave the fan running the whole time, and that's totally fine. I see, and there's one block of usage the whole time, too. Bonnie's a dude. To the extent that an animatronic thing can have a gender, I guess. Right? I like how it appears that the sound design doesn't actually impact whether they're there or not. I'm trying to just wait it out the rest of the night. Although that is triple power usage, maybe we don't want to do that. That's pretty spooky. Why can I not close the door after that? Is there a reason it won't let me close the door at that point? Has to do with existing usage level or something? Yeah, GG. Do we know why, just from a mechanical perspective, why I can't close the door? Are there a certain number of door opening you can do? Oh, okay. That's pretty scary. I haven't seen that one before. That's just a game mechanic. It's one of those, like, why do the space pirates in Metroid build all of their stations with little holes that Samus can turn into a ball and roll through, and have a bunch of switches that are easily activated with ball Samus, right? Like, they don't really build their stations that way. It's just a necessary abstraction as a game mechanic to show that Samus is resourceful and uses her abilities to get around. So, in your mind's eye, imagine that the space pirate base, you know, has a bunch of custom shit going on. So I only see 3 here, but it looked like there were actually 4. Was the other one actually patrolling the whole time? I never saw it on the camera. They came up with their own morph balls. Yeah, you gotta read the lore. So the camera usage of checking, or the battery usage on checking the cameras is pretty comparable to the battery usage of turning a light on and off. It's actually a little bit cheaper to do this. So the game jams the door if you have opened and closed it too many times in the course of the night. Is that how it works? Or is if you try to mash click it, it punishes you? Like, how does that actually work? I don't know if the phone call was supposed to explain that. I kind of missed part of it. Yeah, you gotta have your Five Nights at Freddy's fan fiction, right? I'll do that at the start of another level. It's Patreon subblock. This is Lisa, my sister-in-law. She's a Patreon subscriber, so she decided to have me play this for about an hour. After this, we're playing Xenosaga Episode 1, which will be a bit of tone whiplash, though it does involve spooky penis monsters from space, so there's that. And then Valiant Hearts, The Great War, which is pretty good. Chicken and Rabbit can jam the door. So you just lose if you detect them, or the door already has to be closed before they get close enough, I guess. That happened out of nowhere. Holy shit. Clicked out of the screen. Neat. Alright, so that explains that I can't always get away with just checking the light, which I thought might be a dominant mechanic. This time I'm going to see if I can force the door to jam. If I get it to jam right at the beginning, I'll just reload the game. Right. You can both. I have to check on Pirate Cove. Is there a way I can force the phone call to come back? The first phone call was mostly just like silly lore, so I didn't think they were going to be important, and now I don't think I can hear it again, unfortunately. So they do that as a way to like punish you for trying to do that. So what's the deal with Pirate Cove? If I see Foxy at Pirate Cove, it's coming to me? Doesn't look like Pirate Cove connects to me directly. Need to restart the game to hear the phone call. Alright, I'm gonna do that really quick. Flinch and inhale. Right. Yes, yes. Too spoopy. PT is pretty spooky, man. I didn't actually play that. I think it's off PSN now. You can't play it anymore, right? I watched a playthrough of it. There's a phone call. Bird's already patrolling. Fantastic.
Hello? Hello? Well, if you're hearing this and you made it to day 2, congrats. I won't talk quite as long this time since Freddy and his friends tend to become more active as the week progresses.
Of course they do.
I might be a peek at those cameras while I talk, just to make sure everyone's in their proper place, you know.
Cool.
Interestingly enough, Freddy himself doesn't come off stage very often. I've heard he becomes a lot more active in the dark, though, so hey, I guess that's one more reason not to run out of power, right? I also want to emphasize the importance of using your door lights. There are blind spots in your camera view, and those blind spots happen to be to check the door light. You might only have a few seconds to react.
Interesting.
Not that you would be in any danger, of course.
Of course, naturally.
Also, check on the curtain in Pirate Cove from time to time. The character in there seems unique in that he becomes more active if the cameras remain off for long periods of time. I guess he doesn't like to watch. I don't know.
Okay.
Anyway, I'm sure you have everything under control.
So he gets mad if... So it's a way to keep you from cheesing the game, because otherwise a dominant strategy would be to just check the lights constantly like I was doing. And if I hadn't have been doing that when I was toward the end there, I may have won the previous time, because we were getting pretty close to the end of the night. I think I understand the mechanic now. Okay. That's like the shot clock in basketball, or like offsides in soccer. It's not the most, what's the word? Elegant rule, but it does prevent you from overly cheesing the game, which I appreciate. Pirates Cove is 1C. So I wonder if we can spam lights and then just make sure we check Pirates Cove occasionally while we're doing that and be okay, right? Freddy's nose on the poster? That's funny. Cute. Okay. I don't actually see the character that's supposed to be in Pirates Cove. I don't know if I'm supposed to be able to, or what the deal is. RE7 in VR was pretty spooky. Yeah, they kind of changed their approach from it being an action horror game. It became a lot more action in the second half, though, didn't it? Like, the early part when you're exploring without resources was the most psychological horror, Silent Hilly that the game got. Would you say paranormal? Yeah. And just looking at Pirates Cove is sufficient, presumably? Spamming lights can still be pretty scary, too. Still doing fine. Yeah, if you guys would like to discuss spoilery stuff, you can type !hide before your message. That'll make it so everybody else in chat can see it, but I won't be able to see it, so it can still be a surprise for me. We're playing Five Nights at Freddy's for about another 5-10 minutes, I think. Put us at time for this sub-block, and then we'll start the next block, which is going to be Xenosaga Episode 1. This game might return if somebody else puts it on Patreon sub-block in the future. I'll go ahead and hold on to my save. Be interesting to see how it plays out in the end. Hey, there he is. So if I see him in Pirate Cove, we're okay, or does that mean I need to close the doors because he's on his way to me? You can go ahead and just explain that one to me, because I don't think I fully understand. Does having spotted him here mean that I've successfully used the doors and light system correctly, and he's not going to come after me for spamming lights after that point? So it looks like chat got cleared again. Just type !hide, then I won't be able to see it, and I won't have to clear chat at all. And he's still there. He's there, and curtain are open, he's coming. Okay. Yeah, I'd like to avoid backseating, so it would be nice if stuff's a surprise. So until I don't see him behind the curtain anymore, I should probably keep the doors closed? Is that the only way to really deal with it? That's a lot of battery drain once I see him. If I see him in the curtain, does that mean that I've already failed to check on the cameras often enough? Or is he ever going to go away at this point? Or am I pretty much just hosed as soon as I see him there? For as long until I see it disappear. I'm using a lot of video here for whatever reason. Oh, if I see him... Okay. Oh, okay. I misunderstood what you said. So I actually have already failed this by having closed the doors the way I did. But if I see the curtains open but him not there, that means he's coming, and then I should close the doors, and I've made a mistake. I think I get it now. Gotcha, sure. But as long as I see him there, we're okay. 6 more weeks of winter. Right. And now we're gonna die from the power running out, but that's okay. Now he's coming. Get ready for a jump scare. It's gonna be pretty spoopy. I'm actually gonna take my headphones off so it doesn't hurt my eardrums. There he is. Hey, Fredzo. Power to open instead of the other way around, right? Then everything would be fine. I think we have one more attempt at the second night before it's time to switch to the next subblock game. Or 5 minutes, whichever one comes first. We're out of time, though. Yeah, I should just mute it next time to spare you guys. This kind of reminds me, as far as like how robust it is, of the Slender Man game. Although the Slender Man game's really funny. If you there's some kind of code you can put in that like removes the darkness from the game and turns the brightness all the way up, and it makes him like sing this "Give me $20" song over and over whenever he's near you. It completely dispels all the horror of the game. You realize that everything scary about it is just atmosphere, right? I haven't played Slender Man, but I watched the video of somebody turning on that code. It was really funny. You win if you just let him in. I kind of wish that the first message didn't imply that they, like, you know, stuff you and kill you. Like, the game's almost scarier if you're just a security guard who's kind of afraid of these things and your fear of them isn't really justified in some way. I guess it makes it spookier for the kids, but I feel like the premise almost works better if it's just, no, adults have good reason to be, or have no reason to be scared of these animatronics, but for video game purposes, if one stumbles on you, it ends the game. And that's why people don't want to work here. It's not because they're actually dying, which is a little on the nose, I feel like. But it's definitely a cool premise for a game. I like to see more inexpensive micro indie games like this that just have a very simple premise, are fairly short, have, you know, minimal interaction. I feel like you get a lot of short films and short stories and other works, hello, in in art that can be short form like this game is. And I don't think you get that as much in video games. I don't know if it's just more expensive to produce them or why, you know, people get outraged if a game is shorter than 5 hours. Can I see if he's still near me? I just have to wait until I see him somewhere that's not right next to me, right? Pirate Cove is still fine. Denver asshole, so I can open that door again. So I don't see him. If you want inexpensive indie micro games, there are 4 more Five Nights at Freddy's games. Does that feel like an appropriate number of games? Does it feel like there's too many of these? The right number? I thought I saw somebody there. Yeah, that's the bird. Anybody at Pirates Cove yet? Still haven't seen the bunny move. There's the bunny. Alright, I can open the door again. Yeah, but I hadn't seen him on any of the other cameras, so I wasn't sure if that was the case yet or not. Pirates Cove is still fine. I think we're doing better on... Well, I think we're actually doing worse on battery because of RNG, because I left that door closed for so long I didn't see the bunny move anywhere. Put the bunny back in the box. At least have some form of iteration, sure. I like to see more experimental short games, right? I guess you kind of explore that idea a bit in the beginner's guide, although it's questionable whether any of those micro games are actually games or not. If the creator is just fleecing everybody. That's spooky. Hey, alright. So we gotta check on him to make sure he doesn't come after me. Keep an eye out for the bird. See the bunny anywhere else. Yeah, so what's the deal with occasionally... Alright, I can open this door again. Occasionally the camera's just dead. Is it just for extra horror potential? Thank you, Sabertan. Oh god, what's for Alien Isolation? That's a game where you're probably going to see my heart rate climb. I don't know, it doesn't seem very easy to see the Matrix in that game, so to speak. Every single time that happens. It's a cool way to have little micro non-game ending jump scares too, right? No! Yeah, right. Where is the bunny? Can we please put him back in the box? There he is. That's fantastic, right? That you would get stuck, like you go that long without seeing the alien. It's a good use of negative space, instead of just having it be the alien all the time, you know? Hello. That bunny has shown up a lot tonight. He's still there. Bunny hasn't moved yet. Now there's the bunny. Sure. I think I'm not going to have enough battery to make the night here. It feels like they set it up so that you're likely to run out right when time's about to end. Just to make it as spoopy as possible, right? Still not coming. Yeah, I wonder if I go in and say, what if I say kawaii? Kawaii. Don't ever do that again, Marstead. Thank you, Kami. That's the only door I can afford to keep closed at this point. So if power is 0, you just lose. You don't get a chance to push a little bit longer until time is up. I'm gonna click out so you guys don't have to deal with the rip headphones scream noise. Oh, we made it. We must have just been on time. It's just you don't see the clock anymore. Hooray! So the clock keeps running while Freddy's staring at you, and you get a chance to get out of it. Hey, we ended it at the very end. That was within seconds. That was pretty crazy. Cool, guys. We'll be back in a few minutes. I gotta get the capture card moved over for Xenosaga Episode 1. We'll be playing that for about an hour, and then it'll be Valiant Hearts: The Great War for the rest of the stream. I'll see you guys soon.